Hello everyone and welcome to this panel discussion on Grassroots Esports. My name is Sacco, I'm the editor of Esports News UK. Before I introduce the panelists to you, we're going to have a quick video from ESL.
To stand in the middle of it all, it's breathtaking, really.
Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship!
I'm telling you, ESL, this Electronic Sports League, is going to get nothing but bigger.
Okay, so obviously esports is a global phenomenon and that video just showcases that, but what we'll be talking about today is grassroots esports, you know, where these top-end players, a lot of them where they start out. So I'd like to introduce the panel first. Rob, if you want to go around and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Rob Black. I'm the COO of ESL UK.
Yeah, I'm Jon Winkle. I look after epicLAN, which is a fairly small but typically grassroots LAN in the UK.
I'm Kalvin, and I'm the founder of M&M Gaming, possibly one of the top UK organisations, I hope.
Okay, cool. So if we could go to the first slide, please. And I think, Jon, this first one is for you.
Yeah.
Could you briefly tell us about the picture that's about to come up and maybe how epicLAN has sort of grown over the years?
I don't really want to because I've seen the photo that's going to come up. It's me in 2003. The first LAN event I chose to organise. It was a very typical village hall event, about 55 people. Esports wasn't even being talked about at that point, but you know, we had competitions. People won free mouse mats and mice and maybe a few cans of Red Bull. So for us, 13, 14 years ago, that was the start of esports, and we've grown from there quite well, significantly as far as we're concerned.
Sure, and Rob, you've been to plenty of these events yourself, of course. Could you tell us maybe how LANs fit into the esports ecosystem? You know, what makes them so integral?
Yeah, I think that a LAN is like that. It's that first step when you go out of the bedroom of like, yeah, I love playing games, and I've met some really nice people online, people that I like engage with and play competitively with, but like they're my mates. I'd quite like to meet them in real life. And the LAN environment gives you that aspect and lets you do that. And I'm actually really interested. Why did you start epicLAN?
A bit selfish, really. We attended other events around the country, and I wanted one that was in my hometown. So I just brought the LAN to me, really. And I never thought it was a hobby. Yeah, I actually set up Epic because it was back then. Using my student loan. Would not recommend using your student loan, by the way, for that in future. So yeah, it was all for me, really. It was my own hobby that grew to something that's certainly no longer a hobby, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the really cool thing about like LAN is that it's like, it's that first step, and it's so much fun. Like the first one I went to, I was just like, this is like a music festival, but we're just gaming. It's like such a cool environment, and that's like, I think it really epitomizes what grassroots esports is really, which is everybody just having fun, which is why we game and why we take it to the next level and compete in esports.
I think from the grassroots perspective as well, LANs are so important because esports is so digital, and for a lot of these grassroots organisations, and Kalvin, you'll know this, LAN is often the first time those players get together and play on a stage together, and we've got the ESL Premiership stage here just across the way, and it's great to have that experience on stage, and for a lot of players it gives them confidence, it makes them a better player. Kalvin, what would you say the next steps for your team, for M&M to attend LAN events, what does the team sort of get out of it?
I would say, like Rob said, a lot of fun. We do this because it's what we enjoy and it's our passion. Maybe so you get a bit of money on the side, which always helps, especially if you're a student. Funny that you said student finance before, because that's exactly what I did. So I'm sorry to Yorkshire Water for paying my bills late. But Here I am. Yeah, I think that LAN it's the tangible epitome of all our passion brought to one place where people can see what we do, enjoy, and the atmosphere is undescribable. To anyone who's never been, I highly recommend it, and I really think we can show what we can do at these events.
And of course the trophies as well, right, which you're no stranger to.
Well, I mean, trophies are always nice. You can never complain about too much trophies. I'd like to say it really doesn't matter if I win. I mean, I don't win everything, and I'm still always as happy as I can be, because this is where I want to be. I want to be gaming, I want to be managing, I want to be involved in growing this amazing, passionate industry.
Cool. I think we're still trying to get some of the slides up there, but I'll crack on. We're going to have a picture of Friday night games, which dates back to 2003, and that was the sort of Intel Friday night games back in Germany. And that went on to develop the German National League, which stands as one of the longest sort of running pro gaming tournaments in history. What would you say the importance of grassroots esports support is from brands like Intel?
I think that Cal's point was perfect, is that it's such a great environment, and a brand like Intel can just completely engage with people that are really excited about being there, and that they love their gaming and they love the competition, and it just gives them that perfect platform to be able to really engage in a valuable way with the audience. It's not just like putting your logo on something and saying, well, I'm a partner or a sponsor. It's about creating an activity where the people that go and participate, they're like, oh, well, that's because of Intel, that's awesome, cheers. And I think that's what kind of like Grassroots Esports gives you that. It's like there's so much participation because it's obviously the widest part of the funnel with esports rather than that focused top level. And people they start to get brand affinity and feel like that brand's really got something for them rather than just being like, oh, well, it's just marketing. And I think that's great. That's why Grassroots Esports is awesome.
Brilliant. Anything else you guys want to add to that on the sponsors?
Well, I like to think that big brands as Intel add a lot of value to ourselves. I mean, they can engage with us, but it's a mutual way. For us to grow in esports, we have to both benefit. Otherwise, what's the point? How can we grow? And so when you say, oh, Intel are here, to say my parents, I say, oh, that's a really big brand. Yeah, that's really cool. They're getting involved. This is something serious. And if it wasn't for brands like Intel, how could I not sell it, or how could I explain it to my parents? How can I explain it to the public? And the bigger the brands get involved, the better it is for everyone. It really brings a point to the masses.
Cool. Something I wanted to ask you about as well, Cal, is a proud moment for you this summer. M&M Gaming, your organisation, won the ESL Premiership in the UK and Ireland. What did that mean to you? What was the importance of winning that tournament?
I would say it kind of says what I'm doing is right, what I put so many years and so much passion into. It says I'm moving in the right direction, and a lot of people try to stop me on the way, but like you said, I have a big trophy at home, so well, you can come try and get it. But I think it's important for me, and it's important for a lot of people to see what passion and belief and dedication really brings to people, and what we can do with those values. And I hopefully think that it inspired a few other people, and it inspired me to keep going.
Cool, okay. We were going to have a slide here. We don't have it, so I'm going to... slide 6, we were going to have it's an image of... I'm going to ask you guys to imagine it, if we can get it up. So that was M&M Gaming there. That was M&M winning the Premiership, which we just discussed there. So you can see those guys and the trophy we mentioned. If we could jump to the next slide. There we go. So you can see me at the bottom left there if you strain, and I'm sort of tapping away at my keyboard. That was one of the first ESL Premiership finals before the teams went on stage. And what you can see there are both the teams sort of practicing against each other. And where I am there, if you look at the top left, you can see a player called Haddo, and I didn't realise this, I actually took his seat. which I felt really bad about. But the reason that picture's up there is just to show what I do and why I think the storylines are so important. And that's why I set up Esports News UK a couple of years ago, to track the work that ESL and epicLAN and M&M Gaming do, and to interview the players and to shout about UK esports, because the UK has been a little bit behind other territories over the years, you know, North America and Korea and so on. So do check out Esports News UK, follow what we do, go and check out the ESL stage as well. There's some great finals happening this weekend. There's the CSGO finals on the weekend.
League of Legends later on today, and we've got some Rainbow Six action tomorrow as well, so lots going on.
So do check that out. I think another couple of points I want to make. For the next slide, if we can get that up, there's a team called Misfits who are in the League of Legends World Championship, which takes place very shortly. They actually went from the UK Premiership to the LCS, which is like the top tier of League of Legends. So if I can ask a group a question, you know, how important do you think progression is for grassroots teams to make it to higher leagues?
Well, I mean, from an ESL point of view, that's kind of like one of our main things, is to make sure that there's a clear pathway for players and teams to be able to progress. You know, that aspirational aspect of esports, you know, it's inherent within all sport, but sometimes I think it's a bit ambiguous in esports, and it's something that, you know, we're very focused on providing for players. And you know, the Misfit story is a perfect example of where talent has been nurtured and grown here in the UK, and they've gone on to be really successful. I don't know if Cal, have you got any input as a team organizer, as a team owner?
I think it gives me a lot of confidence. Hopefully that's going to be me soon.
Yeah.
But it's important to see someone do it, because if I have no example to follow, how am I going to lead the way for my own players? How am I going to lead the way for myself, or just even the industry? So for Misfits to achieve that, it's an inspiration.
Cool. And Jon, I wanted to ask you about, do you see an opportunity for LAN events to become more closely involved with national tournaments? I know you're running the Overwatch stuff here, right?
I think this is a perfect example here, where we've got a turn up and play Overwatch tournament running right next to the Premiership stage. Different games, obviously, but we've got people who've never played Overwatch coming in over there, experiencing this live environment. They've never had a match casted before, if they've even played the game. So that's the first step. And certainly the picture on the screen at the moment is it's an ESL setup for Dota 2 a few years ago, epicLAN. So we had our main casual gaming call, and for those that have seen Epic, it is a very laid-back introduction to esports, if you like. Again, first live environment. But at the back of the hall, we had this fantastic Dota 2 setup for people to progress onto and see that next level within that live environment. And just a very quick point as well, I know we're short on time, but we focused a lot on the players, but it's also developing the other talent behind the scenes that get the opportunities at the grassroots events as well. I can see people around here who've been admins at Epic, for example, and casted at Epic. And so, you know, we've given people that first step onto the ladder of esports, whether it's as a player or behind the scenes talent.
You've had some big names come from epicLAN, haven't you?
Yeah, just thinking, seeing nominations over the weekend, people like Pansy and Machine, for example. Who else? Quite a few, anyway, especially back in the old Call of Duty days, when we had people like Quad V there behind the scenes. So, and it's great, you know, seeing nominations last night for people who've started with Epic and then gone on to much bigger things. That's where we see ourselves, and certainly the work we do closely with ESL, I think it's great progression from grassroots to you guys.
That's the case with ESL as well. We've seen a lot of talent go through to, you know, big global events, ESL's events as well. Pansy works for you guys, did the player unknown background stuff at Gamescom, and the same from the team side as well. We've got Alfari and Maxlaw in Misfits, who were playing in the UK scene for Team Infused a few years back. You know, so that's great to see. That's all we've got time for today. Is there any more sort of points you guys want to make around grassroots esports to end the panel?
I think I'd just say get involved somewhere, whether it's turn up to your local LAN event, whether that's 30 people in a village hall through to 2,000 or 3,000 people, then just give it a go. If you don't try it, then you're never going to progress on the ladder. So go, see what it's all about, get involved either as a player or behind the scenes, and see where it takes you.
I'll add to that as well. You know, just do it. If you want to be a journalist in esports, just start a blog, just start writing. You know, if you want to start an organisation, just start it up, get some players together. You know, enter the tournaments. Kalvin won't like me saying that because it'll be more competition for him. But you know, that's the best way to get started, I think, in esports.
Don't use student loans for it.
Yeah, don't do that. I just want to say that we are 4 people on here, and in actuality, the people who do drive esports are people that support us and people who come to these events. So I just think everyone should get involved, and you really do make a difference. Every single person that supports and watches and participates is making esports what it can be in the future.
Which is fun. Mainly it's fun. That's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a great, fun environment and industry to work in.
Definitely. Well, thanks very much for listening, for watching, everyone. And do check out Grassroots Esports scene because it's full of great personalities and storylines.